Last question. If you were given, let's say, 100 or $200 million by a philanthropist who was interested in your work, and you could do any experiments that you wanted to, what experiments would you do? What are the big questions that you still have left?
Alzheimer's disease. I want to, we have so much good evidence that Alzheimer's disease is related to fructose metabolism in the brain. I can, in fact, I'm going to write a little editorial on this because the evidence I think is very, very strong. I've written one paper on it already, but and I would love to take that money and try to develop a fructose inhibitor that gets into the brain, because it would have to be able to get into the brain, and it would probably cost a fair amount of money to get there. But but if I could make a fructose inhibitor that could get into the brain, I would love to try to block Alzheimer's disease, because the earliest signs of Alzheimer's, it's not the amyloid plaque, it's not the tau protein accumulation. Rather, it's insulin resistance in the brain. And although most of the brain doesn't require insulin, the areas that do are all the areas that are involved in memory and things like that that initiate Alzheimer's. And all those are affected by fructose. Fructose actually causes insulin resistance to those areas of the brain. And then the other early signs of Alzheimer's are these mitochondrial problems and neuroinflammation that are all can be linked to fructose metabolism. And then you can show that the enzymes involved in fructose metabolism are high in Alzheimer's patients. And there's even a study showing that fructose levels are high in the brains of Alzheimer's patients. So to me, and then the risk factors for Alzheimer's, like obesity, metabolic syndrome, high salt intake, high glycemic foods, and sugar, are all the same things that are associated with activation of the switch. So I think that Alzheimer's disease, I'm going to predict, is actually a fructose disorder due to endogenous fructose production in the brain triggered by these foods, and that we can block this disease if we actually had, if we could invest in this and actually do the studies to try to develop an inhibitor that could block it early. And I think that would be the cat's meow. That would be the cat's meow.